Hey, another one from the vault of poorly explained Instagram posts. A lot of times when we're filming these things, I'm just going, and there are things that have to be edited, whether, oh, dude, cut that part out, or it just doesn't make sense, or I'm stuttering and stammering. It needs to make sure that it's very, very clear, even though I'm really, really good in front of the camera. So the Instagram post, again, depending when you see this versus what's in the queue of when you look at the page, we're talking about a scenario where I think is very, very important. If you are referring someone to someone else and you're already there and it's something that you want to do and you are doing, I have suggested that you should go with the individual. And that can work on any level. If you go, there's a lot of really good things that can happen, aside from just showing that you care to both your client or patient or to this other individual to demonstrate that they are someone that you're interested in. But I also said, because it's very, very true, and I probably said it with some tone, that we gotta make sure shit goes down the right way. And some piece of garbage, he's done this before, so I typed in, yo, you're done, dude, and then blocked. So again, right or wrong, these aren't people that I don't want these people in my store, so you're no good to me. So he was commenting that, like, who do you think you are? That wasn't what he said, but it's something like that. Yo, who do you think you are to go to someone else where you don't have their training and you're gonna tell them what to do? So this person probably very, very stupid, because he probably doesn't have any other training other than what he knows how to do, which is probably why he's a prick and doesn't like my message that really has a lot to do with integration. But goddamn, I can absolutely go to a visit with someone, and at no point do I need to be disrespectful or even comment, but I can put my arm around my patient when we leave and be like, yo, that's why you only go to my people. Because my client would typically already know that that physician was a total doofus. If you're a trainer and you know that a physical therapist can help you, but your client will only go to someone who's in network or convenient, or somebody that has recommendations from people that are only making recommendations because they have, very nice, pretty women at the front office, and you get free coffee and your little back sack from somebody that's got 30 clinics in the metropolitan area, you go to make sure that they don't get poisoned or skewed from somebody who doesn't share what you think is a clinical contemporary message. Just because you refer somebody out doesn't mean you're just giving them away. It means you're asking someone for help. And if you're gonna have to deal with other team members who think they're more important to you or have a completely different clinical approach, then this is a mess. That's clearly what I feel strongly about. I sat across from an NBA team physician and one of the top physicians in one of the major cities of the world. And I said to him, Doc, listen, man, because we were new to each other and we were describing how I would like to work together. I said, Doc, listen, man, my opinion is that you and I should be equal in our evaluation skills. If I'm who I want to be, I should know the same way that you know if someone needs surgery. I just don't know how to do the surgery. That's why I need you. And he was like, yeah, that's exactly how it should be. And that's how you know that that person is going to be great for you, not just for business, but that's important, but great for the people that you send, because they're aligned. And clearly, if you were both aligned in being a doofus, that's actually probably better than one person trying to be super contemporary and above board and the other one being a doofus. There's times I know someone that I'm very, very close with who FaceTime, because when I say go with them, sometimes FaceTime is a very reasonable thing. This individual was working with a surgeon that, from people that I would value their opinion, not others. This is a mediocre at best surgeon, and someone that I have firsthand information is very disrespectful in their communication to physical therapists. This surgeon begins to demonstrate stretching and talked about the reason that this individual from an ACL, not a total knee, from an ACL had a very stiff knee, where the therapist that I know suggested, should we be thinking about a manipulation under anesthesia? My opinion is that at that stage of this recovery, I probably would not have thought that, but that's not for me to decide. What I would thought of is the surgeon should respond, nah, like that's, I don't think we're there yet. I think we should continue to try to mobilize. Then this doofus starts showing, he says he should do the overstretch. And he says he should work on the hip flexors. I'm like, this is, like, at what point does the surgeon have the repetitions to even say these things on what are the granular techniques of therapy to a therapist of 10 plus years experience? That's why you go. So that therapist then has the opportunity to communicate in the service and in the debt to the patient. You need to go with them to make sure that somebody is aligned with how you're thinking, but also not going to act above you. There's a bunch of Marine Corps things that, sometimes when you either listen in or you hear some of these organizational, I don't know it's about leadership, but it's about organizational strategies, organizational development, hierarchical development. Just because someone has more exclusive skills than you, that doesn't mean they're more important. Just because someone gets paid more than you, because a lot of this was extrapolated into sport. If someone gets paid more than you, that doesn't mean they're more important. Everyone is equal. Some people are more replaceable than others. And it kind of positions everybody in this line. And then as the system, which is partly governed by social forms of communication, the system decides who steps up and forwards. And that's why you go. That's why you introduce yourself, to make sure, and in this case with that idiot surgeon, the patient was, all I can say is, not advised properly. He probably went off of other things, or this therapist was not as forceful or creative to make sure he didn't go to that idiot surgeon. Not because he's a mediocre surgeon. I'm not saying he's a bad surgeon, because remember, I don't ever really say good or bad. I'm saying how this individual is known. If I call 5 surgeons, hey, what do you think of this guy? He's like, yeah, this guy's a jerk. Okay, well, maybe they're jealous, whatever. You got to put all of this stuff into the blender. But if you're the one that's standing right next to your client or patient, it goes the same as trainer and physiotherapist. If you're a great trainer that believes in a lot of things, you can't be sending your people to somebody who wants to put an ankle weight and do leg raises. Like, that can't be. And more importantly, if you're a trainer, doctor, therapist, chiropractor cannot be telling you what you're allowed to do on the other areas. Like, why would that even matter? You guys know, I used to say this a lot, then I didn't say it, then I say it again, whatever. Like, imagine that their arm was amputated. Train the rest of their body, and don't touch the surgical shoulder, and don't do anything that makes that surgical shoulder hurt. Why would you do that? Well, number one, if we are going to talk from a business standpoint, that's good to do. You can still train them. But if you can manipulate the acute variables of how you train these legs, this trunk, and this arm while this arm is in the sling, you can, instead of necessarily training for fat loss or strength and power, you can manipulate things in such a way to improve hormonal profile, to improve immune system, to improve central cardio, to improve peripheral cardio, all of which will have a direct link to the experience of how that tissue heals. So to say, oh no, don't just take some time off, let's just rehab the shoulder. Man, what is this? That's why you go. So you can then judge and have healthy, respectful conversation, and then you come on Instagram and you can be disrespectful that way.